All right. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody.
Dude, what are you time stamping this for? How about if people aren't listening to this on Monday?
Well, I hope whenever you're listening to this, I hope that you had a good Monday. What is your guilty pleasure, snack, treat, or food?
So guilty pleasure would be something.
I'm going to say it's something that like you couldn't eat it all the time.
I couldn't eat it.
Or you shouldn't, maybe.
I shouldn't, but like when I'm around it, I just have to have it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my latest one is the nothing bundt cakes.
Oh,
dude, those things. I was like, okay, they're good. Somebody brought them to the salon for my birthday, and I tried a slice of their cake, and I was like, what in God's name is this? It was amazing. I'm just like, I think this might be the best cake I've ever had.
Is that what y'all had last night?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, people were that was like crack.
Dude, it is unreal how good that cake is. So yeah, if that's around, it's game over.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Immediately, I think back, I had done a really good wagyu, whatever, brisket, and that would be it. You put me, if I can even smell that, like if they had this in this gigantic building, I would be after it right now.
Yeah, I mean, brisket, I feel like that's like a given. Like,
yeah, but you can't eat that all the time, though.
You can't? Who said?
Oh, your cardiologist, yeah, health, general health,
your local doctor.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you ate it all the time, you would turn into it. Like you, like why are you so greasy? Like you like sit down, they're like, we got to clean the chair, man.
You just like slide out the chair.
literally you're like, oh hey, this door's sticking. Oh, I got it. let me just rub the back of my forehand this real quick.
It's like yeah, I'm gonna give up brisket. Give me a nothing bundt cake.
Yeah. So. Okay, what about and I don't know, people might be weird to this, but I'm seeing a bundt cake, a little bit of icing the way that they would put bacon on it as they should, but like maybe a little bit of brisket on the top of the bundt cake.
I mean, I don't know if it would sell, but I bet it would.
Oh, I would buy it.
Well, I know you would. You could put bacon on a turd and you'd buy it.
Yeah, I would actually. You know what? Presenting bacon, I'm going to see like, what's the biggest size Tootsie Roll you can get? Microwave it, do some stuff to it to make it look questionable. Then I'm going to put a piece of bacon on it, see what people do.
Let's go ahead and jump into today's show. All right. All right. So today is one of my favorite formats that we've been starting. And what we do is we're going to go on Instagram. We have a reel talking about leadership, and we are going to discuss it. And so this one is Brene Brown, who we all love. She is just so great when it comes to connection. And what Brene Brown, what's she meant to you? Like, what are some ways that she's impacted you?
Oh, I mean, all of her work is brilliant. She's someone too that, like, I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is I'd love to get dinner with her.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'd love to buy her dinner and just say like, hey, I just want to stop for a second and have you think about the amount of people that you impact with your work.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah.
And it's so simple too. As it is, like, I'd be curious. I'd love to see Simon Sinek in her on a stage.
Oh, they're gonna say battle it out.
Yeah,
just fight.
Yep.
All right, let's jump in and then we'll discuss.
I think she'd win too.
Leadership used to be about muscle. Today it's about brain, but moving forward it'll be about heart. What we know is what you will not replace, no matter how great the algorithm is. You won't replace what makes us uniquely human, which is courage, connection, and empathy.
Can we play that again?
Yep.
Just so for the listeners to
really get it.
I had to listen to it about 3 or 4 times. So let's listen to it one more time.
Leadership used to be about muscle. Today it's about brain, but moving forward it'll be about heart. What we know is what you will not replace, no matter how great the algorithm is. You won't replace what makes us uniquely human, which is courage, connection, and empathy.
That's good.
It's so good. What's it make you think about right away?
Well, the first thing is before I really started to learn about leadership and servant leadership, I thought it was about muscle. I thought it was about you're in charge.
Position.
Yeah, position. You're the person that gets things done, and like you have to make sure people get it done. Yes, but it's not like twisting people's arms to get it done. It's more that what she talked about, just being human and that connection, being real. I think that's what people want now, is they want a person, a leader who's real, but that leader has to have courage.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just
be passive.
Just be so real where people are like, this is my leader. Like they don't have courage. They don't have the will to like move forward, because we've said it before, and I hate talking about COVID, but like during that time, it just exposed so many things. That's why we keep going back to it. But during that time, we were very transparent with our team of like, hey, we don't know what we're doing.
Yep.
But we have the courage. This is the best decision we feel like it's best for right now, and we're going to move forward. And that's what people attach themselves to. You can't just go in the fetal position and just whine and cry and just be like, everything's against me, nothing's working, and expect people to follow you. What'd you hear out of that?
I mean, so the first place I went to was just a reflection of the Enneagram work that we just did. And I think that really equipped me, but what it also made me very aware of is just some areas that I think I can do and be better in the moment by having, the intention to understand others more. I think Stephen Covey says it, right? Like, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So I go there. Another place I went to was last night at the Silver Salon holiday party.
Dude, you just love time stamping some podcasts, don't you?
Yep. Is that a bad idea?
It's all good. Hey, it's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Here we are. We can't get fired.
So holiday party.
Unless Ren fires us. Ren could fire us. Ren don't fire us.
She's our video editor, so we take good care of her.
Yep. Thank you, Ren. What Aaron said, what I heard Aaron say basically was just letting the team know, like, you have autonomy. And you have autonomy to, like, try things and do new things. And knowing that you have a team of people, behind you when you get into a situation. I always say to our team, like, hey, when there's something that happens, like the worst thing that could be, if it turns into a lawsuit, and even in that situation, which I like still joke about, and Caitlin on our team, if you're hearing this, I'm so thankful that you blessed me with this opportunity to be able to say this real. It is like, hey, like the worst thing that would be is we get sued. And even in that situation, we don't fire people for that. Right.
Yeah.
Not saying that that's a blanket statement that you can apply to every situation.
Never fire anyone.
Yep. No, but I think in the area of it, like having heart, like, hey, nothing about this is easy. And here's the thing too, there's no manual. No one has it perfected. No one has anything completely figured out, right? Like, we're all going to have moments where we, aren't able to maybe be at our best. And, what I hear within that is just creating space and creating empathy, creating space for empathy, within your team. That's what spoke loudly to me. And then I think also too, right? Like the idea, I mean, the hair industry is really interesting. We are at a point right now that, some of, when I came into it, it was very, very ego driven, right? Like when you would look at product companies, support companies, manufacturers, distribution, steps in distribution, I just always remember there being so much ego. And
do you not think there's ego?
I mean, I'm sure that it is,
because I'm like, God Almighty, if it was, you felt like it was that back then, like I feel like I've only been in the hair industry since 2018.
Yeah. Well, now I think the egos that we see now are largely, at least for me, a lot of it is going to be from the social media influencer side of it. When I see them like, okay, cool. Like you have one trick, and
Yeah.
then what, right? Even to the conversation, we can go down this rabbit hole maybe in another one, but that idea, like TikTok, as it sounds, I mean, is going away in less than a month, right? And if you've treated that as your one trick pony, man, you got some reinventing to do. But going back to it though, yeah, I think the egos that I had experienced, it kind of reminds me of you go into some really, high end, maybe not even high end, like restaurant, you will see a lot of ego there. Chefs have ego, surgeons, that type of thing. And I think the reason that it can exist in our industry is when you do work on people and you make people feel great and really impact, the way they experience themselves and their self-confidence, like you can have this godlike complex, begin to come in. But within what she's saying, right? Like, what happens to the ego when you apply empathy, right? This is kind of the Grinch situation when this heart gets bigger, I feel.
Yeah. And what is ego? Ego is nothing but pride. And pride is a ugly thing. Like I see pride, and again, I see pride in my own life.
Yep.
Like we're all prideful.
For sure.
And to see pride sneak up in my life, unfortunately, I catch it after the fact.
Oh yeah. Hindsight.
Sometimes I'll catch it in the moment, but I never go into a situation thinking, oh, I want to be prideful.
Yep.
But there's times where I walk in and in the conversation, I'm like, okay, well, I start talking about my accomplishments or what I've done. And at the end of the day, it's like, that's pride. I need to seek, what was it, Stephen Covey, to seek to understand?
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Yeah. So with that and how to win friends and influence people, to be interesting, you have to be interested, which is all about the other person.
Right.
And, she talks about in the video, it was muscle and now it's brain, and moving forward, it's heart. And when I hear heart, I hear humility. I hear passionate. And so that's one thing personally for me that I'm working on is like, I feel like it's the thing God's showing me that I didn't feel like I've ever dealt with pride, which might be a prideful thing as much. People are like, oh, I'm real humble. It's like, well, that's a kind of a prideful statement. But
so what's something though, like when you think about a day in the salon, like where is a place that pride can slip in for you?
Well, the first thing is thinking that I know all the answers first. That's very prideful, right?
Yep.
So I'm learning to understand it's like a practice of like, okay, I think pride is when somebody comes to me with an issue and I think it's a very small issue. I'm like, I think that's prideful. I think I just understanding other people, bringing other people in the conversation and serving, serving. And I think communication as well. Like I've got to communicate, especially I've worked on a lot more refined stuff inside the salon this year. I'm still at our salon, but communicating with our team with refine and seeing them record seeing us record the artist academies and me doing these calls and us in the salon doing things. Our team's bought into it because they see the hard work we're doing.
Yep.
Most people just see our podcasts or Instagram reels. They're like, dude, you guys look like y'all are like having a blast. You guys are crushing it. I'm like, well, the year is much bigger than we anticipated, but like, there's a lot of work.
An incredible amount of work.
It's a lot of work. And this is where most people don't get, because it's a lot of work. And so I've got to look back. We have to look back and not be prideful about the work we've done, but be like, you know what? We both sacrificed a lot. And I wouldn't be here without you. And so, just keeping that prideful, that I want to approach every situation with humility. And I think what she says going forward with heart, that's what I hear. Now, I don't know if you heard something different. I think with heart, you can I think you can hear different things, but the first thing I heard is like, hey, humility, passion. I mean, talking about our holiday party, Erin, I mean, she showed passion to our team. It was like, hey, 2025, you thought this year was good? Wait till freaking next year.
Yeah.
And then we did the top 3 service providers. And I said, hey, who wants your name in this list next time? And I saw hands go up real quick.
Yep.
And I haven't seen that in our company in a long time. Like, I think people are passionate about being the best version of themselves they can be. Notice I said best version, not the best hairstylist, or
right.
the best, because there's a balance there.
Yep.
But we have people, it's like, you know what? If I made $150,000, that's going to cure a lot of my problems. I'm not going to say it's going to solve everything.
Right.
But a lot of the issues that we deal with, money will fix a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's going to fix all. Don't be commenting on YouTube. Be like, money's not going to make you happy. Well, being poor is not going to make you happy either. So I'd rather take the latter.
Yeah. And I really, it was really kind, the acknowledgement that Aaron gave last night. And I'll tell you that it meant as much to me as to be there experiencing a leader to say to their team that we've adopted something in this company so that beginning in this company, like, you will be able to make enough money to live where you serve. And I think for me, like, one of the things that I find that I'm using to kind of watch for pride is, just understanding, like, for me, if the finances are figured out and I have a good enough understanding of, like, okay, where are things at in the company, and I know that we have, like, enough margin to keep the lights on, that's one for me that I'm able to be a much more empathic human and a much more empathic leader. So I like that you talked about money, because I think, for me, again, at the end of the day, like, this whole thing, it's just a practice. It's just a game. Everything within this, and I try and look at it that way, because I think it, like, by me looking at it as a game, the weird thing is it lets me kind of have my mind be more open to fun. And fun, when you can have fun with efficiency and productivity, like, that's one of the ultimate things. And I think that also within fun, right? Like, the laughter, the energy that comes out of a team that's able to laugh together and have fun together, like, that's just, it's magical, right? So I think, again, I mean, that's the thing. Brene is so good, because she can say something in that way and say that it moves from muscle to brain to the heart. And I mean, like you said, you got to have courage. And I think that's sometimes where, like, I would say that might fall into a space of, like, courage is like a muscle that you got to use, right? But it's not the main one that you have to use. It's not the main one that you have to apply all the time. And I love that, like I said, when you talked about money, it just allows you such a different experience when you don't have to be stressed. And again, I mean, shameless plug, but to anyone, if what I'm saying right now, you're like, that would be nice, that would feel nice, reach out to us. We're fully stacked right now, but I will say the amount of people that I've been able to, and the amount of people that I'm working with right now on that part of pricing, I'm getting to work with some really, like, we are serving some beautiful leaders. And now we're also equipping them with better margin so that they can even have more bandwidth of what they can do with their team.
Yeah. So one thing from our holiday party last night that was very impactful was one of our newest stylists. She was a stylist in Florida, moved up here. As soon as she came in our salon, she's like, I knew this was it. Like, I had butterflies, and she worked at a salon for years in Florida. So I met her husband for the first time. I met 4 new spouses at least last night, which is crazy for me. Most of the time I already know the spouses before they come in. So anyway, I'm sitting beside this lady's husband at dinner, and he was talking. He's like, man, you guys have built a great thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, thank you. But like this, and I think he was talking about the salon, but I was like, dude, this where the magic happens right here at this long table. And this was the last year we'll have that one long table going from one end to the other, because next year we'll have more people. But I said, the thing that makes this company run is at this table. All these people were not in this company. This is just a beautiful building. and it's not doing anything. It's not making an impact in anybody's life, not making an impact in the community. So it's the people. And so when I hear this, moving forward is heart, the heart is going to draw the people.
Mm-hmm.
The muscle is not drawing the people. It might draw the people for a short time, but it's going to be a revolving door.
Yep.
So if you have a lot of turnover in the company, I would look and say, hey, how am I leading? Am I leading with muscle or am I leading with heart? And if you're leading with heart, then I would look at your structures and systems and your culture,
Mm-hmm.
because you might have the heart. People might want to follow you, but if you don't have a way for them to be successful, and I mean, we're just talking about this recently where there's a salon that the ceiling's really low and people are leaving. And I'm like, well, your ceiling's really low. Like, you got to have a ceiling high enough where people are like, wow, there's a lot of steps to climb in this company.
Yep.
And make a lot of money. But if it's only 3 floors, people are going to be like, I'm looking for a bigger building.
Yeah.
So, love Brene Brown. Hopefully this podcast spoke to you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube or on our app at the Refine Network, you can download it at the App Store or the Android. What's the Android store? The Google Play. I don't know. If you got an Android, you know where to go. Download the app, watch the stuff. So we love y'all. Have a great day.